This is the plaintiff, James Lewis. He says he rented a room from the defendant, and the guy turned out to be a real wackadoodle. He had a big bag of knives in the apartment, had axes all over the place, and a combat knife that was apparently still wet with blood from the Iraqi war. There was no way he was staying with that lunatic, and wants his $800, a portion of his unlived rent, returned. This is the defendant, Keith Wooden. He says he has a 3-bedroom apartment with no other roommates or pets, so how can his place be unlivable? If anyone's crazy here, it's the plaintiff, because he kept a big black bird in the closet, and he's deathly afraid of birds. He had no idea it was in there, and when he opened the door, the thing flew out at him. He almost plopped dead on the floor. Oh, him? No. He's accused of being a little too sharp for his own good. The defendant has filed a countersuit for $800 for pain and suffering.
All parties, please raise your right hands. Other right. Yeah.
And welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket. The plaintiff rents a room from the defendant and says that the dude has axes, knives, even a combat knife. But the defendant says the plaintiff is the one to talk. He kept a big black bird in the closet. It's the case of Polly won a lawsuit.
You're welcome.
Mr. Lewis, you are suing Mr. Wooden, your former landlord, that you sublet a room from for $800, a portion of the first month's rent and security that you want returned to you because you changed your mind about living there. Tell me what's going on. When you have a counterclaim against him for $800 for pain and suffering. Okay.
Well, I first met Mr. Wooden while looking for his landlord at the Arlington Exchange, which is the defendant's place of work. And I was waiting for this guy, Angelo Balboa,
Okay.
Gino,
Okay.
to come out of this back room, out of a meeting. And while I was waiting,
I'm sorry. Why are you secretly meeting people to rent an apartment?
I'd been asking everyone on the block, who do you rent from?
Because you wanted to live on that block?
Around there, and he's the biggest landlord around there.
Okay, so you were you went to his place of business, which is some kind of exchange. What is it really?
Exchange.
What is it? A jewelry store?
Yeah, I buy gold, silver, diamonds.
So you go there and you're asking for his boss.
So while I did, they were curious and asked me what my business was with Gino, and I told them I was trying to find a room. So Keith piped up a few minutes later, the defendant, and said that he had a room for rent. So I said I'd check it out.
So you decided to go ahead and take his offer to sublet a room in his place?
I did, yeah.
All right, and you were paying how much?
$500 a month.
All right, now you say in your complaint that you scribbled something in writing. Do you have the writing that you scribbled?
Yeah, we penned out a contract. I insisted we did because I was paying in cash. The defendant didn't want to take a money order.
Okay.
Because he said he didn't have identification.
Okay. And so the day is to start on the 20th of January. I will be renting a room and there's the address, for the monthly fee of $500 beginning on the 20th of January. In addition to rent, we will split the cost of utilities. Okay. If you were trying to have a note that you gave somebody money, you might want to put that in you got the right idea.
I know.
You got us halfway there. You got something in writing, but there's something you really wanted in writing is that he acknowledges he got $1,000 from you. I don't think that's in dispute here. You acknowledge you got $1,000 from him, so you're lucky. All right, but now, so here you are, you're renting the room, and how soon do you realize that something went wrong?
It was about 3 days later that I started to realize it wasn't going to work out.
And why?
There was it was filthy. First of all, it was evident from the beginning that it was filthy. There was cigarette butts everywhere, and hair clippings all over this bathroom sink.
And did you know that before you rented it? Or?
I didn't catch a look at the bathroom sink, but I saw there was a few dishes, and there was some cigarette butts and dust bunnies, and trash, and belongings everywhere.
What made it different 3 days later if you noticed that before?
I guess the hair clippings kind of took it.
The hair clippings just push you right over the edge. All right, so the hair clippings. So why didn't you just tell him, hey, dude, run the sink and don't?
Well, there was a few things. I could have expressed that to him, but there were also filthy dishes always there, and I did the dishes when I first came, and they reappeared, and he was smoking. The defendant was smoking inside a lot, cannabis and tobacco.
Did you guys say it again?
He was smoking cannabis and tobacco.
Oh, so he's smoking pot in there.
Well,
and you didn't know he was smoked pot before you took the place?
Well, we talked briefly about it, and that wasn't the biggest concern of mine.
So that apparently doesn't bother you either. So what bothered you?
I didn't have a door.
You didn't have a door?
No, it was off the hinges, and then when I tried to hang it, it didn't fit. So I stole one from the closet and used it there.
How is there an extra door inside of the closet?
It was, I mean, it's an old building. There's just doors around. But there were no tools to do it, so I did it all with like a pocket knife.
You did it with a pocket knife?
Yeah.
Okay. What are the reasons that you want your money back?
It's a lot of money to me.
Okay. What are the reasons that you feel legally entitled to get your money back?
I only stayed there for 5 days.
Okay.
And after the defendant verbally assaulted me.
Okay, tell me about that.
And threatened me.
Okay, you tell him that you want out.
I told him that I wanted out, and he's like, "What?" And then 2 minutes later,
he's on the phone.
2 minutes later, he stomps up the stairs, came in, was like, "So how do you want to settle this? Like, we're gonna settle this like men right now." And he starts taking off his jewelry, and he's like, "I ought to kick the shit out of you," like. Just like really, really profane and really threatening.
So how'd you move out? Did you move out that same day?
I moved out that same day and just packed my stuff.
So did you ask him for look, keep some money, but give me some money back?
Yeah, I said, keep $200 and
you stayed there how many days?
5 days.
Talk to me. What's going on?
I never threatened him. He moved in January 20th. He came off the street. He was freezing his. It looked like a bum when I first met him. He was looking for a place to live. So I went to him. I said, "Listen, I have a 3-bedroom apartment available. Would you like to move in?" He's like, "Sure, I'll take a look at it." I'm like, "All right, this is what it is." Fine. 2.5 weeks later, he decides to come at me with, "Oh, I want to move out."
2.5 weeks, not 5 days?
Yeah, it wasn't no 5 days. He's lying. And then the whole thing about the marijuana, if he wants to throw that out there, he came to me. He was like, "Well, if you can't come up with the money, you can always give me $800 in marijuana."
Oh. So apparently that wasn't offensive to him. Okay.
So I was like, okay, fine. James,
so you were going to give him the $800
no, I wasn't going to give him none. You want to, that's his problem. All I'm saying is that.
Where'd he get the impression that you could do that?
I don't know, ask him.
Were you smoking? Well, I did. He says you were smoking pot
so was he.
Oh, so was he. Okay.
He was stoned when he walked in my job.
Okay. So go on.
He looked like he needed some help, so I was like, fine. I decided to be a help. And this is how I get paid.
Okay, well, but what right do you have for him to, how long did you think he was going to stay there?
He was supposed to stay there from January 20th to March.
But that, that the piece of paper that you guys signed doesn't say anything about that, right?
It says right there, January 20th, that he's going to stay until March, and when he's going to
I'm sorry, wait,
utilities.
Stop. No, stop. Maybe I'm missing it. Just show it to me where it says March.
Okay, it doesn't. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
I'll admit to it.
Say, maybe you were both stoned when you did it.
So if you rent a place and you're living with a landlord and the landlord turns out to be a whack job, does that entitle you to say, "I'm out of here, I'm uncomfortable," and you can get the money back from the lease?
I would ask what the landlord is exactly doing.
Well, the landlord's just crazy. I mean, you lived with crazy people. Can you get your money back?
Of course you should be able to get your money back. It's absurd to live with a crazy person.
But you've signed a lease. That's the trick. You have a lease with the dude. Can you break it because he's crazy or you think he's crazy?
I don't think you can, but I mean, you can try whatever you can do to get out of that situation.
But you don't have a legal right to.
Right.
I get your point. Going inside the courtroom.
In your complaint, you say that he's weird and that you were afraid of him because he had a bag of knives. Tell me about that. And axes all over the place.
Once, the one night that we hung out and we were getting to know each other, listening to music, they're, like roommates, he showed me a duffel bag full of combat knives and like boutique knives. And one of them was a K-bar that was still supposedly wet with blood from the Iraq War.
Yeah, right.
I mean, he said he'd bought it off a Marine for $100 and it was all legitimate, but.
And he had axes all over the place?
Yeah, there was like ornamental and like axes that you could take down.
All right. Do you have axes decorative axes and swords and stuff?
Yes, I do.
Oh, do you have a bag of knives?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Well, then why were you laughing like it's so preposterous what he was saying? Apparently, I thought it was
Because
just
I
paranoid.
like to collect knives.
But, okay. Now, but according to you, he deliberately let a bird in to attack you. You tell me about that.
All right. I walked in my house about 2.5 weeks later. It was night, whatever, probably about 6:30. I walked in his room. I hear something hitting the wall like that. I got a lot of knives. So I grabbed one of my knives. I don't know what the hell's at the door. Thing comes out.
Excuse me?
Excuse my language. I apologize.
Go on.
Like I said, it was hitting the door. I opened it. It attacked me, hit me in the chest. I don't like birds. I hate them. I despise birds. And I told this kid when he first moved in the apartment, I told him that. He thinks it's funny. It's fine. I don't care.
I'm sorry, I'm not understanding. You think he captured a bird, put it in a
He
closet?
told me he did. He said, I said, James, how'd the bird get in the apartment? He's like, I let it in. I'm like, why? He's like, I didn't see no problem with it.
Here's the thing. When you have a lease that doesn't have a beginning and an end point, what it is by operation of law, a month-to-month tenancy. And what that means is that someone has to give you 30 days in order to move out. I believe that pretty quickly he told you, I want to move out. And that entitles you to go ahead and keep $500. But how does it entitle you to keep the second $500, the security deposit $500? Did he damage the place while he was there?
Well, there was a couple nicks and holes in the wall, whatever. Like he said, he found a door and put it on when there already was a door to lock him off.
You don't think he deserves a door?
He had a door. There was already a door that locked me off from another room.
What was wrong with that door that he would feel the need to put a different door there?
I don't know. Ask him. He was locked off.
He's saying
He
that
had his
there
own.
was no door.
It's a railroad apartment, Your Honor. So there's 2 doors on my room.
Okay. I just want to get out of here and shower. So here's what we're going to talk about now. You have no claim to the security deposit, and you need to return the security deposit. That's $500. Your counterclaim against them is for pain and suffering, and that would be the bird.
Yeah.
Did you bring a bird in on purpose to torment him?
No, Your Honor, not on purpose and not to torment the
Okay, had the bird get in there?
While I was cooking one afternoon, I burned some toast and there's a back door with a porch. I opened the back door and a bird flew in.
Alrighty then. Gentlemen, on the plaintiff's claim against the defendant, $500. On the defendant's claim against the plaintiff, $0. Part ways, gentlemen.
You got it.
Thank you.
Wow, now that was
Great, wasn't it?
well, that was too. You guys were meant to be roommates, don't you think? Perfect for each other.
Nah, I shouldn't have been the nice guy and tried to bring him out and give him an apartment. So
Well, that was
it is what it is.
a nice
he
gesture.
got his $500. Have a great day.
All right.
I'm done.
Okay. Wow, very good. Very, very interesting choice of roommate.
Yeah, I mean,
For both of
I
you.
just took a leap of faith, and to be in his defense, he actually was very hospitable. He, shared
Well-
some groceries with me and stuff.
Well, how did it all go wrong so fast?
It was just too much money and too much unenjoyment, too distracting for the price.
But he seemed like a good guy to move in with when he offered you the spot, right?
Yeah,
What'd
he's a pleasant guy.
Pleasant. Mm-hmm. Harvey?
A tenant can't just move because he doesn't like the way the landlord lives. But if the tenant is threatened, that is probably justification to get out and even get your security back. And that will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.